Hello, I'm Brett Hickey, founder and CEO of Star Mountain Capital. Excited to be here today with Miles Lee, the president and CEO of Alliance Cost Containment. As business owners and executives, we know that it's hard to push and drive for every dollar of revenue. Today, we're going to talk about helping maximize those revenue dollars and how to save costs and tips that business owners can look at in how to increase their bottom line as well as the enterprise value of their business. So without further ado, I will introduce you to Miles to tell us maybe a little bit about your business from a high level, then we'll get into some details that we think people may find valuable.
Sure. Well, Brett, thanks for having me today. And briefly, Alliance Cost Containment, or ACC, as we refer to ourselves, helps businesses and organizations improve their bottom line and enhance their valuations through the reduction of procurement costs. And we focus on about 35 to 40 different procurement areas that can make up anywhere between 10 and 20% of a company's overall cost. So that's our primary focus, and we've worked with hundreds of companies over the years and have saved over $250 million collectively for these companies. And a majority of the time we will find at least 10% savings for an organization. And if we don't, there's no fee to the client. So it's a very low risk proposition.
That's great. And Miles, the types of companies you work with private equity firms when they're looking to go in and do due diligence, where they may look at a company to say, hey, we can acquire this company and immediately increase the EBITDA or free cash flow from reducing certain expenses. And you can also help analyze the systems and processes. You work with business owners directly in looking at help them save their hard-earned revenues and maximize dollars, as well as really maximize their operations and how they're fluidly, running or not running their businesses. And then also with business owners that are looking to sell and wanting to get that EBITDA as high as possible, which is of course what drives valuation metrics. So it's interesting, if you assume a business is valued at 10 times EBITDA, every dollar you save is worth really $10. So from a sale value perspective, that's pretty substantial when people are thinking of exits. Are those kind of the main types of clients that you guys work with?
Yes, exactly. Primarily in the private equity space, largely with kind of mid-market private equity firms. And you're exactly right. If we average a couple $1 million in savings for a company, a PE firm, they're going to see that as a $15 to $20 million pickup in valuation. Mm-hmm. We'll also go in on the front end with PE firms during the due diligence phase and help them identify what the potential savings that they can then bake into an offer or an acquisition proposal for a potential portfolio company. We also work with large enterprises, revenues from $100 million to well over $1 billion in revenue. Our largest clients, about $20 billion in revenue. And then on the smaller end, we'll get down to about $50 to $100 million in revenue.
That's great.
And then the third is for kind of small and mid-sized businesses that are bound by like a trade association or some type of common group. We'll actually create a buying cooperative model where a $30 to $40 million company can buy like a Fortune 500 company. And so we cover kind of the gamut through those three channels. But one thing in common, they all, irrespective of the size of the business, they all buy those same common set of 35 to 40 supplies and services that are not unique to any business. In fact, they're pervasive across all businesses.
That's great. And one of the things as Star Mountain, one of our goals is to bring proven large market capabilities and expertise, such as your firm, Miles, and the things that you provide to the larger companies and larger private equity firms, and bring those capabilities and expertise down into smaller businesses. And that's been part of the partnership that Star Mountain has created with ACC to help bring those large market proven skills and resources to smaller businesses. And so with that, we'll give a few tips. Why don't you help business owners with maybe 5 tips that you find would be the most valuable, relevant ways for them to reduce expenses and maximize their enterprise value?
Sure. Well, just a few things. First of all, we encourage every business owner and CEO, CFO to consider cost reduction an ongoing process, not an annual event. And by that, make cost reduction a part of your corporate DNA, where you're constantly focusing on finding additional savings, improving efficiencies without compromising the quality of your product or service. So make it an ongoing process. Second of all, measure everything. You don't know you're saving money until you understand what your baselines are, what benchmark cost look like for companies in your peer group. And then, you know, once you get a supplier contract in place, measuring the performance of that contract. Without those measurements, you really don't know if you're saving money or not, even though the vendors might be telling you are. Thirdly, it's important, we think, to constantly be open to working with new vendors. Don't always fall back on the most cozy relationships with long-standing vendors, because you don't know what you're missing out on without testing the market. Another one that's very important, we think is very important, is we need to we encourage our clients to treat our vendors like a client. Put them on the same plateau as a client. Make them an extension of your operation, and listen to their ideas. Otherwise, they may feel threatened to give, may feel defensive about giving you their ideas because they don't want to lose your business. So be open to them and treat them like you would a client. And then, lastly, reach out to an expert, a third-party expert, to kind of validate whether you've kind of maximized your savings potential on an ongoing basis, or can a third party help you, whether it's us or somebody else. There are a lot of good firms out there that can help companies and business owners reduce costs. We feel like we're among the best of them.
That's great.
And we're excited about this partnership.
We'll be providing more information on Alliance and Miles and his business, and how they can help save money for business owners, how they can help come in and help validate whether or not you are currently optimizing your cost infrastructure. And the good news is, in our relationship setup, Miles is willing to put their skin in the game and do it for free. And if people decide to work with Alliance costs, then they can look to participate in the savings alongside business owners, and at minimum you get to find out how well your business is running. So Miles, thank you for your time today, and we hope some great advice for business owners.
We're very excited about the partnership.
Thanks
Brett.